All right, I think that we are, in fact, live, and hopefully I am correct about that. So, hello everyone. If anyone's watching, I hope you...
Did you post in stream plugs?
I have not yet, although I should automatically do that, I suppose, so...
So the window over here sort of shrunk on the Discord side. It's not a big deal, but it is a little small.
Okay. Hopefully, as long as you can see everything, I won't worry about it. But in any case.
Yeah. Okay. It did appear on Streamplug, so we are live.
Yes. We can hang out for a second and let some people filter in, hopefully. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone's listening yet, but if you are, this is going to be our restream of week 4 of our Jets of Time Async ladder race. We've chosen 4 racers who are relatively close together, hopefully, and so we'll be seeing Ansky, Civilshev, Kolars, and Kuketsky today. And probably you know this if you're watching this channel, but Jets of Time is a Chrono Trigger randomizer. It's designed to be a little bit open world, so you get to make some routing decisions, try to find the key items that you need in order to get to the end, and beat either Lavos or Zeal 2 with the particular flags that we're running in this case. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that is Mian, and I'm joining him. I'm PseudoArk, and we will. I will not be here the whole time, but we will be your commentary team tonight.
Yeah, cool. So, let's see. Well, we have a few people viewing, so let me switch us over to maybe start getting ready to actually play. So today we're going to be using some of the streamers' auto trackers because it's going to be a lot easier since we have kind of a skeleton crew tonight, but hopefully there won't be any issues with that. If there are, let us know and we can theoretically switch over, but ideally we only need to track for 1 player and that will be much better. So I guess with no further ado, let me pull up the right windows to get us started, and yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. My laptop had come unplugged. All right, so no idea if anyone's here, but let's go ahead and get started here. And yeah.
All right, so we have got Robo and Marl. Well, I know that Kiyoketsuki is unhappy about this. He was complaining about these characters in Discord the other day. So yeah, so in the early game, everyone's going to be doing pretty much the same thing. The primary goal is to get a 3rd character, and usually we're going to get that from Cathedral, and we have to kill 4 Naga-Ets to get that character, so they'll be going around, checking the shops, looking for mid-tonics, ethers, other good items, and then trying to get a couple levels and a couple techs so that they can take care of that Naga-Et fight quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Ansky may be heading into the desert, and looks like Civilshev already has early play to get a few items, and hopefully get something that's either useful for a character or something that you can sell in order to get something you need, whether it's something for sale at a shop, or something at the snail stop, which is going to be one of their early checks for a key item. So,
yeah, so there's only... Looting the desert's a pretty good early play. There are some reasons that you might not want to do it. There is a very slight RNG manipulation that you can do with your very first battle, but the moment you run from those hexapods in the desert, you lose that. But it's really such a minor thing. I always loot the desert, kind of, once I get to... Oh, I saw a tab invest down. I don't know what shop that is, but I hope they remember. Tab invest, ether, and mid tonic. And a ruby gun. We got a Lucas starter kit and revives. This is a great shop.
And yes, I will get that timer started just in a second here. I forgot about that. Thank you, Azure Kale, for reminding me. Oh, should have that now.
Okay, Ansky, is he going straight to Cathedral? That's... he found a Megaton arm, and now he says that's enough. And so this is fine. If he gets hit by some Naga-et slows, it will be painful.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I was noticing Kolaris earlier was doing an interesting early play that I don't see many people do, where he went to the Sun Keep and grabbed that power tab there. So, I don't remember, or I don't know of how power tabs...
He also did that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how good power tabs will be in this seed, but interesting thing to see happening early on there.
And a jerky. So we had hero metal at the snail stop and jerky from the lazy carpenter. And Luca in the burrow. So if we end up heading towards Magus's castle, oh, and Robo's ribbon from the hero metal chest. That's actually pretty cool. So Robo's ribbon was recently, as of 3.1. It was augmented so that it not only provides a sunshades effect and auto barrier and sight scope, but it also gives Robo +3 speed like it did in vanilla. So this is a very welcome find.
Yeah, especially since we're starting with Robo here. A lot of the time you don't have them right away, but this gives you a really powerful character right at the start to, beat up some Naga-ets or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, so Ansky, it was fast enough, and now he's got Chrono in the Cathedral.
Yeah, it's a decent third character, though he starts with a weapon that's really difficult to get much damage out of, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't remember if anyone's picked up anything that would give Chrono some better damage for the start of the game here.
I did not see anything. Of course, I also missed the Megaton arm on Robo, so...
Fair enough.
Oh, Dark Saber. Is that a Dark Saber? Not in vanilla. It's like a little bit better than a Flint Edge. I believe it's supposed to be like Denataro Mountain level. I don't know. It's pretty... It's not very impressive, but yeah. It will be nice enough for Cathedral.
Yeah, it'll be a lot better than that Wood Sword at least, and probably good enough for doing some damage in the Cathedral, hopefully.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, I imagine that Ansky is going to grab the Naga-et Bromide and get out, because in Boss Randomizer, it is pretty sketchy trying to beat the boss here.
Yeah, it's true. Boss here can be all manner of nasty things, including Dalton Pless or golems or what have you. Of course, the HP and all of the other stats are scaled down because it's an early slot, but it can still be pretty challenging when you have characters that only have, 100 HP or whatever to throw at it.
Yeah, so the current way Boss Randomizer works is that the HP of an encounter is determined by the HP of the boss that was in that spot in vanilla, whereas the stats themselves are scaled according to a tiering algorithm. Bosses are tiered 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, if there are even any 4. Yeah, there are some 4s. And spots are also tiered 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there's a way to make the stats match. But the HP, which is important, is determined by the spot where you find the boss.
Yes, and Kolar's doing a thing a lot of people do early, where setting up the Zeman Bridge so that once they're ready to check it out, they don't have to stop by there before they start the quest to get that key item. Seems like Q is taking the market fight. He's a little ways in to be doing the market fight, I feel like, but common early thing to get some levels and a few attacks.
Yeah, and then over on Calarce's side, we've got some Roly, well, not Roly Riders, just Green Imp and Roly fights here. Yeah, so you get the most experience from the Omnicron hench fight. And, you know, I think Hyoketsuki kept the RNG manipulation to guarantee some critical hits on the Omnicron.
Yeah, as I recall, it's the second, fourth, and sixth hits that you get an automatic crit for in that first battle if you haven't touched anything else.
That is correct. It's 2, 4, 6. So if you know your even numbers, you can do the RNG manipulation. Yeah, so Ansky noped right out of Cathedral, and now he's going to catch up, doing what everyone else did.
Yeah, hitting those shops and probably getting those early key item chests.
And this is weird. So Civil Chef also doing this Green Imp Roly fight. And that's not... Usually there's a 2 Roly Rider fight that you can get down at the bottom, and you can also wiggle the bush next to the Shelter Bush and get a 2 Roly Rider fight. And I think that's better than this? I don't know. I'll have to see. That's my preferred one. And then the 3 Roly Rider fight afterwards. Yeah, because that's only 3 tech points there. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, I think what Dip was saying in chat is probably right, that it was just an accident, missed the skip for it, and that happens, I suppose. Civil Chef adjusting his battle speed and such there too, so always a good thing to do. Get the battle to a level where you can get things going as fast as possible, but not so fast you can't follow it. It looks like we have both Clarce and Q, Ketsuki working through that Nugget fight right now.
Yeah, the slows are coming out, and they are annoying. So slow not only reduces your ATB recharge, I think it's, again, 50% thing, sort of like anti-haste, but also reduces your damage by 20 or 25%. So it's really awful.
Yeah, and especially early, I can imagine that being really bad because you don't have very much damage if you're diving into the Cathedral right away to get that third character.
Yeah, and it looks like I saw Marl had Life 2 first. I did not see the second tech, and it looks like Robo doesn't have anything good either. So they were just stuck with auto attacks. Yep.
Luckily, with that Robo Ribbon and the Megaton Arm that at least some people found, I bet that Robo's doing some pretty good damage there. I wasn't watching quite closely enough, but here's Civil Chef also now hitting the Nugget fight.
Sorry, I missed... I'm sure that Ansky got Hero Medal and Jerky, so I'll click that.
Yeah, I'll probably see him turn in that Hero Medal here shortly if he didn't in fact pick that up.
And I missed the Jerky turn, unless no one's done it yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like Ansky is maybe in the process of doing that, just turned it in. So, that can be some very good items. I've seen it be a Taven suit several times recently, which is pretty valuable if you can pick up Luca, who of course is in the burrow. That looks like it is a Taven suit, this seed, so that's some great armor for Luca, who is blocked behind the burrow. So probably won't see it unless this is a Magus Palace seed, and then we'll see if people want to pick her up to try to get her some good techs, be a little bit of a later pickup, or go with what they're doing and not worry about it. But that Taven suit might make her especially well protected.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the +3 speed is the big thing. That's a game changer. Just like +3 speed on Robo Ribbon, yeah, that brings her from 8 up to 11, which is respectable.
Indeed. Looks like Ansky is heading into Hecarim Cave. One of our early checks that a lot of people go for. It is randomized, of course, so we'll just have to wait and see what boss we end up with in here and what item we can get from Taban afterwards.
Yeah, so I mean, this is risky. Like boss randomizer is a very dangerous early game because there are a lot of bosses out there that you just can't beat. So I think the only magic that Ansky has, or that anyone has, is Lightning 2 on Chrono, which is, so it's a good choice to go here because you can clear out these encounters really quickly. But
Could be
the
bad
boss
for
at the
boss.
end is Dalton Plus again. Like, I know we got a few Dalton Plus seeds in the ladder already. Or if it's, I don't know, at least if it's a Nizwal, he's got something nice for that.
Yeah, and
the boss
Flea
at
can
the end
be
of
bad
this.
too, as I understand it. If that ends up here, and though maybe Flea can't end up in Hecarim specifically.
That is right. Hecarim is one of the few places where there are... So all of these Hecarim's Cave maps are actually on the same map. And so all of the enemy sprites get loaded up at the same time. So if you try to put, Flea Plus, / Super / Atropos, or Masa and Mune, I think that's the list, then the moment you enter Hecarim's Cave, it will give you what Angiro calls the pink screen of death, because it runs out of RAM to put sprites in.
Yes. Dealing with those SNES constraints.
This is fixed in the 3.2 that will eventually come out, but that's a ways off.
Yep. I was noticing one thing Kalaris was doing there. He was glancing at some of his text there. Robo was about to learn Rocket Punch, I think, and Mara was going to get Cure, maybe. So it's... hopefully Rocket Punch will get some nice options for some of these early bosses. And Chrono just learned Lightning 2 for him, but several others already have that. So starting to get a few things, not anything that's going to be useful at the end of the game, but definitely some things that are going to be able to do something for them.
It's pretty nice. Marl's about to learn Ice 2, and Robo's about to get Area Bomb. So, I mean, the techs are actually coming up pretty well here. So this Hecarim's Cave play is working out, I would say.
Yeah.
And we're about to see who is in the Cathedral.
Yes.
And it's Dalton Plus. Alright, well, that's good for Ansky, because it means that Dalton Plus is not in Hecarim's Cave. In the previous week, I wiped there and ended up going through Magus' Castle instead of Black Omen, like all the cool kids.
Yeah, last week was interesting in that way. It seemed like that was the split. Most people ended up in the Omen. But Dalton here is also interesting in that he can do a lot of damage, but his HP is very low, so if they can get enough damage out, they might actually be able to get through him pretty quickly, and then we can see what the fourth character is. But it's not a place that's going to give them progression, unless they get... Well, unless they get Frog, I guess, at this point. Could be cause for progression if they need to do a Magus Palace run.
Yeah, this is, I'm just watching this Dalton fight. Because I don't know how much damage he does in this spot. It's scaled down, it's toned down pretty significantly. But I think that those 5 orbs, not the ones that make the little fire burst, I think it's still a one-shot. No, it's pretty reasonable. It's only 107 to Robo. But this is actually pretty free, since they have lots of mid-time.
Yeah, looks like we have Golem over in Hecarim, which is sort of Dalton light, but does have a little more HP over in the Hecarim slot. It's 2100 to 3100 rather than 920 to 1320. So it'll be interesting. I haven't been watching Ansky that closely just yet, but usually the strategy that people are using for Golem is to cycle around what things you're hitting him with, because he'll retaliate with the same, and often you want to leave him on fire or on ice, because those are single target and much more little piddly things that it's easier to live through.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit unlucky, and right between a lightning and a physical, he got hit with a lightning counter. But yeah, he's cycling between, since he's using that ice too that Marl picked up to keep him pretty docile.
Yeah, and that physical one at least is only half HP, so it's pretty unlikely to kill you, or possibly can't even kill you, but can do a lot of damage, so I think that our runners definitely prefer
the only thing you have to worry about is the burp at the end, you know, because if you let the Iron Orb whittle you down and then you get burped on, like here, Robo and Marl are probably dead, but he's fine because he knows that Chrono's going to live.
Yeah, you're right there. Chrono stayed up, but the others are down, and I guess that means I won't get the tech points, but I don't even know that it's all that many from here, and soon we'll be able to see.
It's a little sad that Robo died, because he can still learn techs, whereas I think after Hecarim's Cave, you know, anyone else is pretty much loaded up.
Yeah, if they've gotten those first 3 before unlocking magic, then, and with the amount of TP that's in Hecarim's Cave, certainly see that happening. Right, so here's Ansky going to Tabin to see what key item we get, which is the Prism Shard. That could be interesting. Our runners already have Marl since I started with her, which might mean that Prism Shard is something that's sort of expected or required by the seed. We'll have to hang on and see what they do with that. But
yeah, but like you can see just how long this Dalton fight is taking. Like they're going to win in the end. I imagine all 3 of them, but this is a huge time sink.
Yeah, and especially for not getting progression here, at least probably not getting progression. It is a lot of time to sink into this when they could come back later if they end up needing the character or whatever. Ansky looks like he is setting up for Xenon Bridge to see what item gets from that. This is an interesting check because he'll get the item in just a second here, and if it's not something that's to his liking, he may just reset and back out because the item is fairly early on, but then afterwards there's a couple of different fights, and then a boss, which is a dual boss, which is also randomized and can get rather dicey in boss randomizer. So
yeah, so Ansky's thinking, he decides at the end that the clone on bridge is not worth risking on the bridge.
Yeah, and that's also a place that you can go back to. It's not like the clone is going to be super useful right now. Obviously, you don't have any of the rest of that go mode, so you might be thinking, oh, if I get the chrono trigger and access to the future some other way, then I can come back here and have a lot more damage dealing to get through that bridge with.
Yeah, I am remembering a recent race where there were prism helms on the Aussie fight, so sometimes it's really worth it.
And Frog is our 4th character here in the castle, so if this is
the obvious play is to put Frog in, get the gold rock, and beat everything that way, right?
Yeah, sure. That seems like a likely likely outcome. You don't usually see very many rock plays, though there have been a few sort of notorious ones recently. One actually being Kuketsuki using the black rock in one of our recent Speed Gaming Live matches, so will be interesting to see if we see anyone using rock strategies here, for sure.
Ansky cutting it a little close on this frog fight. I mean, he'll get it down. The red frogs are notorious for dropping good items. I don't know. I mean, they're no different. They're in a normal tier. They're not like incorrectly tiered, but sort of a superstition going back to Moon Blizzard.
They were dropping some shields there, which can be useful at least. I see a lot of runners use those if they see, you know, Flea come up, or some of the other bosses that can do a lot of physical damage. So those might get used. We'll just have to see what people run into as far as randomized bosses. Looks like Kalars is, I'm not actually sure. Maybe heading to Xenon Bridge as well? Yeah, or just stream bugging a little bit.
Yeah, I guess Ansky really does want those shields because he keeps taking these fights.
Yeah, it can't be particularly useful for TP at this stage, so I guess it must be the items. Certainly a choice.
The frogs are resistant to physical, and they do a counterattack, so that Cyclone was ill-advised.
Here's Sybilchev also setting up to do Xenon here, like I thought Kalars was doing.
Barely gets away. Oh my goodness,
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
terrifying. So you saw Ansky doing one of the foundational bugs in Chrono Trigger where you run away by holding L and R, and if you're on wait mode and you can get into the tech or item menu, the enemies will just sit there and doing nothing while you're running away. So it's a risk-free way to get away from a fight, and that's what Ansky did there with his 1 HP Robo.
Nice. Looks like Sibilchev also reset out of Xenon there, deciding the clone isn't worth it right now, or possibly at all. Kalar's using one of the free heals that I only sometimes see, I feel like, the one in Medina Village there, which is a nice fast one, so I'm a little surprised I don't see more runners using it, but Frog does have Frog Squash, so that could be useful. End up somewhere with the elevators, and they need to clear screens with annoying magic defenses.
Yeah, it's nice that he already has it, so you won't need to like level up his tax to get access to it if it becomes useful.
Yeah, you don't have to put too much in the way of resources.
It looks like everyone is going to Heckman's Cave now. I guess that's fine. You know, with Ice 2 and Confuse, you're thinking maybe Retinite's not too bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we got
I mean,
several
Retinite, again, you know what you're getting, right? You know, and you've got a Megaton arm on Robo. Like, I don't know. I'd be thinking Retinite instead of trying to risk a random boss. Oh, new sighting.
Yep. And yeah, but it seems like all of our runners are going through Heckman Cave here. We'll see how they feel about that when they get that Prism Shard, but it can be progression, so
yeah, I mean, you've got Marl and the team. Now, the one thing is that the Yakra the 13th spot is a tier 2 boss, whereas the other bosses that you have access to are tier 0 or tier 1. So Yakra is tier 0, Zombor is tier 0, but Donatoro and Heckman's Cave are tier 1. So, you know, you are taking a little bit more of a risk to go Prism Shard early.
That's true. It does look like Ansky might be heading for the desert here. He's already been there for the items, so it can't be that. Does
yeah,
make sense
I like
with
this.
Ice 2, and yeah, having that Megaton arm and Ice 2 probably can get some good damage in. Chrono has Confuse as well, so.
And I think even Marl has like a Comet Arrow or a Sonic Arrow, you know, something reasonable.
Yeah,
so it's
throw out a little more damage with that, at least, than just having the Bronze Bow. Kalar's picking up a Devon Helm, so another thing that'll be useful if anyone ends up going through the burrow and picking up Luca.
Yeah, and Kiyuketsuki has a similar idea, but he's decided that he's going to farm these Mohavers and Hexapods in the desert, which, you know, I think that's a better alternative to the frogs.
Yeah, and I know that Kiyuketsuki often likes to grind a decent amount, and this is one of the grinding spots that I've seen him use before. And it will let him get some of these extra chests that people who are skipping all the bosses or skipping all the encounters are not necessarily going to get. So maybe there'll be something there that helps him out a lot as well.
I don't know. It's just this one chest. You get all the other chests, even the one behind Zombor. You get.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like
full ethers from those hexapods, so that's
nice.
pretty worthwhile.
Yeah, I don't see every runner hit the bottom left one here on this upper floor, is the other one, because that's a harder skip than some of the others. But
yeah, I mean, you just hug the top, and it's not so bad. Ansky's having pretty safe Retinite fight here. Robo's doing nice damage with Rocket Punch. Chrono's Confused is doing a good, 450-ish. So this is pretty safe. And it's nice to have Confuse in particular, because if you can manage to take the eyeball out, and Confuse being multi-hit is more likely to do those last couple HP, you will get double the XP and TP. I think it's like an extra 2,000 experience and an extra 20 tech points. Yeah. Very worth it.
Yeah, and especially with Robo and Party, who isn't going to cap out on techs right now without magic blocked, that'll be potentially very useful.
Yeah, so at this point, I was about to say, I would be waiting a little bit and letting Robo and Marl take out the bottom so that Chrono's ready with the Confuse. Because Robo's hit rate is awful. He won't hit. Marl has a pretty good shot, but it's not clear that she'll finish it in one shot.
Yeah, and we see that
yeah,
Nancy didn't get it down, but, you know, still through this.
Ally Blade, still good. The big upgrade from that Dark Saber.
Yeah, for sure. Q looks like to be still grinding, or at least taking a decent number of fights here in the desert. Civil Shove.
Yeah, and again, I don't mind it as long. I think that if he skips the Hecarim's Cave encounters, because he won't be getting really much TP from them anyway after doing all this grinding. If he skips those, he'll pretty much make up the time.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see if Q decides to actually go for Retinite as well here. And depending.
I feel like you don't grind if you're not gonna take out the boss.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, and I blinked, and Golem is down on Civil Chav's side, so he will get that Prism Shard.
Yes, and Kolaris is about to run into that, looks like. I didn't see if Ansky has already gone to Taban and gotten whatever's there. Or not Taban. What am I thinking of? Fiona. Robo. Yeah, here we go. He's looking at the shop, so we'll be seeing another key item on Ansky's side here real soon.
So, of course, we'd like to see Gate Key get Fast Magic. You know, Pendant would be okay. But they're starting to probably feel a little bit bad about taking extra fights and not getting any TP on 2/3 of their team.
Yeah, for sure. It's the Gate Key.
And it's the Gate Key, alright.
So that will be very nice for getting some of those later techs after the third one. At least on Chrono and Marl right now. Luca and Frog, if they pick those characters up later. Ansky hasn't, but regardless. And yeah, here's Kuketsky going for Retinite, as we were expecting, and Kolaris seems to be going for Golem. I'm not sure if he's doing quite enough damage to be taking it down quickly, so this could be a little bit of a protracted fight. And
so he's doing a really nice thing there. He's got Robo in the lead, and you can area bomb the boss if Robo's in the lead, so he's using that to cycle back and forth. But he does, it looks like you said, he's got that wood sword still on Chrono, so he did not pick up the Dark Saber that other people got.
Yeah.
Or forgot to put it on.
I wonder if we'll see him switch Chrono to sort of be the item monkey here and just do damage with the other two, or if he's going to keep trying to use that sort of relatively little damage.
Well, he had no problem, so, you know, Chrono or not, Ice 2, Area Bomb, Rocket Punch, more than enough, so that was a clean fight.
Well, good gamble, Kolaris, if that was a gamble to see if Area Bomb would be in range, because apparently it worked out quite well for you. That Golem is down and heading for that Prism Shard, I guess. Ansky is unlocking magic exactly as we would expect. I'm having trouble watching 4 streams at once, so kudos to anyone who's done this before. So I am not used to this. But,
it's easier when I'm just sort of, you know, talking in chat, but here actually focusing on what I'm saying, it's really hard to watch 4 screens.
Yeah, let's see. Civil Chef and Kuketsky are similar places, although I guess like Q just took down the bottom there. We'll see if he's able to take out the eye and get a little bit more TP, at least for Robo, and XP for everybody. He's missing an awful lot, though, so maybe unhappy. Civil Chef took out the eye early, which can be a bad call sometimes because the other parts will go a little bit more berserk. That happens. And
yeah, and
Q.
Then it starts with its AI. It will respond to every attack with defense up. And I think that's defense and evade up. So he's going to have to keep weaving in some Ice 2s if he wants to keep his damage up.
Yeah.
So I think it's 1.5k on the Retinite side, so it's... Yeah, Robo will do it pretty fast. Oh, and Ansky got a special, one of the special portals, special holes in Reptite Lair.
A Cali Blade.
And is rewarded,
nice.
super rewarded with a Cali Blade.
Yeah, if he's keeping Chrono in his party, that will be some good damage for a while here. He can get a couple of other things. I think Kali is that 4th by damage? I'm trying to remember, but it's
up to, like, Chrono's swords are so stupid because there are so many swords that are just really 5 or 10 attack away from each other and don't really make much of a difference. Like the Slasher 2, the Cali Blade, the Vedic Blade, you know, they're just sort of different. They're not that much different.
They're mostly
Cali
aesthetics.
Blade is either 4th or 5th.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, a lot of runners like getting the Swallow, since it has that plus to speed, or obviously a Rainbow, but Cali Blade will definitely serve Ansky well here for a while.
He is a Chrono enthusiast, so I'm sure that he's very excited about that pickup. And a speed tab. Not bad.
Q in chat is saying the Cali Blade is 3rd by damage, but a better crit rate, where the Shiva Blade has a... or Shiva Edge? Shiva, whatever. Has a higher base damage, but less crit. But more crit damage, okay. So yeah,
I'm
there's a lot of weird trade-offs there.
There's a really neat edge case bug involving the Shiva Edge, which if you ever pull it off in a race, it'll be very cool. But if you have a Frenzy Band on, and you counterattack and get a critical hit, and you have an ATB bar already saved up, and you immediately use a physical tech, you will keep the ×2 multiplier from the Shiva Edge on your next attack. Which means that if you do Confuse immediately after a Frenzy Band counterattack critical, you'll do a double damage Confuse.
Wow, that would take a lot of work to pull off, but it would be pretty impressive if someone could.
So it's almost reasonable when you're fighting against the Tyrannos, because the Frenzy Band will do the will trigger on the roars.
Right, yeah. Makes sense. Here's Kuketsuki getting magic, and Civil Shep will probably be doing so shortly, given that he's about to get the gate key.
Yeah, Zelfer, it's so edge case that it's not worth seeking out. I did it when I was goofing around the other day, but it's just like you got to wait and keep the ATB bar full, because if you haven't already input the command while the counterattack crit is going off, you don't get it. So you have to like save up the ATB bar, hope for a crit. I think it's 25% crit rate on the Shiva Edge, so it's pretty niche, but it's really cool when it works. Ansky actually discovered that bug on accident during a Lavos fight, I think, some months ago.
Right now we see Ansky heading toward Reptite Lair. I know words, and we'll see who's hidden behind the cave here. Looks like it's Slash or Super Slash. Seems to show up here often, but who knows? Probably confirmation bias of some sort here, but looks like Q is actually fighting Specchio, which we don't always see, but might be at a good level and want to get the bonuses from that. Specchio does give you a few tabs, as I recall, if you beat him. You might remember that.
At this, I think it's just a magic tab and some ethers.
Okay, I guess we'll see here in just a second. Magic tab and 5 ethers, so could be useful. It was pretty quick, so that might have been worth it for Kuketsuki to get a few ethers for free.
Oh, and it's cool. I missed it, but Kalarse is on the bridge fight, and so we get to see what's here. He wanted the clone. And it's a Lavos spawn. So this will be very easy for him. Oh, he still has that wood sword on, it looks like. So Confuse would be really great here. But this is only going to do like 400 damage or something. Not even.
Yeah, 75 each. That's not much. So the Zombor slot is not a lot of HP, but I think that the slot that the Lavos head falls into might have a base. I think it was 1172. The shell's HP isn't randomized, as we know all too well from a few days ago. But
yeah, Dipwood was asking in Discord to bring that back, and I'm thinking in the grand finals of the SG Live tournament, maybe we can we can just do that again.
Just reproduce that bug, make it real nasty for whoever's there, you know. Make it long.
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right about the HP, and so since it's within a plus 50% range, you know, it's really only like roughly 1,000 to 1,500. It's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I feel like the Lavo spawns are one of the best things you can get here on the bridge, other than getting a vanilla Zombors, because the mutants have their own special quirks, and, you know, Terra Mutant has Obstacle, what is it, Giga Mutant is the one that steals your MP, and those things can be pretty hard early on. So, as Zelf was saying in chat, bridge can be kind of scary early on at this point, but Lavo spawn is definitely a good roll as far as getting through that.
And it was the bent sword on Reptite Lair.
Okay, I had missed that, but I suppose that makes it more likely that we're going to see Magus Castle here, given that Frog is pretty early accessible and we have one of the pieces already, so we'll see if that bites Ansky having to go back through the cathedral.
Getting a little nervous here, yeah. I did not run this week's Async, so... And I've not looked at the spoiler log, so I have no idea what's coming. But yeah, I'm getting a little nervous. We've been seeing a lot of Magus's Castle.
Yep. I watched someone race this, but I never remember anything after, 12 hours, so...
Civil Chev is doing the Dactyl Nest, which is sort of cool. I guess he is not happy with his team.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to see if this is Ayla or Magus here. A lot of difficult skips here in the Dactyl Nest. Been seeing Dipwood do them really well, and some other races recently. Not sure if I've been seeing Civil Chev getting them, but not too bad to run from the fights anyway. Looks like he got that one.
He got the second one. That's a good one. I mean, they're both the same. They're both, there's a spot where you can set it up, and then you have to go 2 pixels. So they're both equally difficult. If you have Chrono in the lead, there's a nice visual cue that you can use with the shadows on the ground. But he did not do that, just did the 2 pixels.
Yep, looks like Ayla is who is at the Dactyl Nest, which I guess is vanilla, effectively. And we'll see soon what's in Denadoro Mountains, with Ansky going there. Runners are spreading out a little bit. Not really much in the way of go mode stuff yet. We've got the Blade with Ansky, we've got Frog with a few people, we've got the clone on Kalars, but still seems pretty open, even if we're a little worried about it being a Mega Seed, given the early Frog and early Blade.
Well, I mean, at this point, you need 1 item to get to the Magus Castle go mode, and you need 2 to get to any other go mode, so the odds are in Magus's favor.
Certainly. I didn't see if Civil Chev or Kyuketsuki got any of the special holes over here in Reptite Lair.
Well, we see a chest on Civil Chev's screen, so he did, and it looked like Kyuketsuki's side as well. I think they both did, but I didn't see which one. There are actually 3 different paths you can go down there. On the first screen, there are 2 2 special holes. Or are there 3? Yeah, I don't even know. But then on some of them, on the second level, you can wait again for the Weevils to dig.
Yeah. We haven't seen a rock yet over there at Denadoro Mountains. Who knows? Looks like Ansky will not be picking that up, which is perfectly reasonable. Yeah, I think there was a guide someone posted in Discord the other week about the holes in Reptite Lair, so that's something that can be reviewed if anyone hasn't messed with that before. I think I just saw Kalars maybe switching out that wood sword finally, which will definitely help with damage, just keeping Chrono around.
Yeah, so it looks like Civil Chev went through the same... At least he got the same speed tab. I didn't see if he got the Kali Blade as well.
Yes. So Q is saying in chat that Civil Chev got the special side, so must have been something else, because the one that Ansky and I guess Kyuketsuki got was the Speed Tab Kali Blade one.
Oh, that was beautiful. We had a 2,000 damage Ice Sword 2 on Masa and Mune.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's great if you can take those out right away, because those counters can be real annoying, though Ansky is doing this late enough that it's definitely an easier one. And we're seeing Hecarim here, so watch out for his possible counterattack pose, but otherwise do a bunch of damage and try to get rid of him, I guess.
Yeah, this should not be much of a problem. Although
seeing...
Ice 2 was the highest damage here. You can't position Robo to get an area bomb hit. Unlike Vanilla, where Masamune sort of walks around and chops you up close, he does not get close in Jets, so there's no area bomb action.
Yep. Looks like we're seeing Kolaris head through the desert now. We'll get that gate key and have magic. Might be a little unhappy to have done it later, given that it's producing magic, but nonetheless. Yeah, I guess Ansky has unlocked magic, so I should go get that on the tracker.
Oh, my fault. I got it.
Cool. Yes, thanks to Zidorf, who is also keeping on the tracker for Ansky here. I've just captured the auto trackers for the other three, since figured I would probably lose my mind if I was trying to watch and track 4 races at once. And looks to be working, so.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm a huge fan of capturing auto trackers.
So yeah, there's Kuketsuki getting that blade, who I guess is now the closest to a go mode, since he had picked up Frog, unlike Ansky.
Oh, that's right. Gosh, I hadn't even been thinking about that. So yeah, that Cathedral skip might actually come back to bite him.
Yeah, it feels like it's rare, but when Frog or Marl or Robo is there, it can block progression sometimes. So looks like we've got a seed where that's the case.
Yeah, I was sort of am a big Cathedral skip proponent, but I don't know. I've been getting burned so often on it. It's like if you have Frog, if you happen to start with Frog, Marl, and Robo, you don't need another character for progression, but you need another character.
I'm going to update our overlay to tell you who's talking and so forth. I'm sure nobody has been concerned about it, but now it's correct.
They just think you're like a great ventriloquist.
Clearly, we just got all of your commentary and pre-recorded it, and I'm playing it back. It's not actually live. We haven't gotten that sophisticated yet.
Yeah, this Hecarim fight is like, it's super slow. It's unfortunate that just there's no good magic yet.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that much.
But there, finally.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping track of how much damage. This is only... I mean, this is Donodoro, so I guess you're looking at 3,600 to 5,400, which doing 500 at a time is not super enjoyable.
That was a pretty great level up. We had a Haste and a Luminaire.
Yeah, that is very useful. Haste is often basically what you're looking for on Marl, other than Ice 2, which, as we know, she already has. So, Life 2, I guess, is the other thing, or Cure 2 if you don't have other good status protection, which, as I recall, is an issue in this seed. Finding heals was very difficult. I'm not actually sure where any of them are. But yeah, we may actually see Cure 2 strategies from Marl, given that status has been hard to heal in this seed.
Yeah, good call. On Civil Chep side, we might see some Kiss strats, but yeah, it's good to remember that in Jets, Cure 2 got buffed. It heals status and not just all of your HP.
Yes, and that's right, Kiss does also have that effect, so that's right, that Civil Chef will have that option of using Ayla for status healing.
In chat, we have a question. Is there a way for rewind? I don't know what you mean. This is a video. In theory, we could rewind it, but I don't know why we would.
I'm not sure if that was for the Juggalicious' question there, which would be more fun, tracking or completing a randomized seed. But yeah, I think that Twitch does have a rewind 2 minutes button if you do mean rewinding this stream. Or catch the VOD later and see that. Ansky must have picked up the hilt because it looks like he has now also gone to Melchior, so that must have been what was in Denadoro.
So Ansky went ahead and sorry, where was that?
I think
where did Ansky get the hilt?
I think that was Denadoro that he got that in.
It must have been, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
well, so now, so he forged the sword. Did he go to Tabin and get an item? I don't think he did.
Don't think I've seen him go there yet. See, Sivilchev was up on the king's side of that, so he might have been setting up the prism shard to see what's behind that.
Yeah, because so once you skip Cathedral, it is pretty much the hardest thing in the game to go back there. So Ansky's going to check everything else, check all the other options before going back and completing that.
Yeah, for sure. At this point, Dactyl Nest is definitely going to be a nicer character pickup than going back to the Cathedral, even though, as we know, that's where Fraga is probably what he is looking for.
Because Ansky's got a... Oh, Sivilchev, since he did not do Donatoro, he decided to go check the trial. So we'll see what that is. But yeah, Ansky's got a pretty healthy lead. I think, has he done all of the available checks other than the Prism Shard? I think so.
Yeah, I think possibly. Well, he did reset out of Xenon, but he does know that that's the clone, as I recall. So I think other than that and the Prism Shard, yeah, I think he has done every currently available check. We'll have to see if he decides to do the Prism Shard in hopes that it's like a pendant or something to get some more checks in the future and the Protodome character, or if he decides to bite the bullet and go back to the Cathedral.
I think in his position, he's got to be prioritizing character checks over everything. Because, you know, you're so far away from the other Go modes, and you're just a character away from the Magus' Castle Go mode. I have a feeling that once he finishes this, it's straight back to Cathedral.
Yeah, because you have no guarantee, of course, that the Prism Shard is going to give you the pendant, which is what would give you that other character check.
Like, if somehow... No, I mean, it's absurd to even say. Because, like, I was going to say if somehow you had the Moonstone also to check, maybe 2 key items would be worth it. But at that point, you would have all of the characters available. So you just check the characters instead.
Yeah. Though, I'm realizing, I mean, Ansky has done every check except the Prism Shard. So, I mean, I guess we'll see in just a second here on Sivilchev's side, but it might have to be the pendant unless that stuff's, like... No, I mean,
it could be on Woe, right?
Yeah, it could be the Dreamstone, so you could go through Mount Woe, and then the pendants behind that. But it does.
It could be the Grand Leon. You know, it could be anything, because if progression can be on Mount Woe, it could be pendant there, leading to all the juicy stuff, or to Moonstone. It's the worst. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that right now it couldn't be Mount Woe because they don't have access to Mount Woe. They would need to have.
Well, they do because they've got the blade and the hilt. So,
yes, you're right.
So you know, you could go. The logic says that you can go through Magus' castle, choose not to beat the game, and climb Mount Woe to get the pendant and finish everything. Or probably insult to injury with this seed. I'm guessing it's like Toma's Pop into pendant or something more absurd.
Yeah, and I think Dipwood's right that pendant must be on Woe since Sivilchev found that Moonstone. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean something independent. Yeah, a chain eventually ending in pendant.
Yeah, I think it's pretty likely at this point that we're gonna see Magus' Castle, because that means that a lot of stuff is locked in those 3 future checks, and that probably includes effectively the other Go modes, and you're not gonna do those if you have to go through Mount Woe in order to get to the future at all.
And so Ansky making the right call here, going straight back to Cathedral. He's gonna be rewarded, get his frog, And then, you know, Ansky's also a Luca hater, so I imagine that once he gets back to the burrow, or if he goes back to the burrow, he's not going to go back to the burrow. He's just going to stick with this team, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's true. You can save at least a couple of seconds there, or a couple, I don't know, some amount of time by not going back and getting that character, since really the only requirements are that you have Frog and the Forged Masamune.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just getting the character, it's getting the character and then taking her back to Specchio, and so it adds up. And I like Ansky's team. I think, like, Chrono, Marl, Robo is fine. You got Ice Tackle, Ice Sword 2, Haste, Heal, you know, to throw the magic tabs on Robo. You've got the Ribbon too. You've got Mega Super Volt. You know, it's not bad.
Yeah, got some decent options there.
Dipwood says this team sucks. I don't know. I think it's fine with Robo having the Ribbon, but again, I didn't play this async, so maybe it sucks more than I think.
Yes, I guess Ansky did pick up Ayla, something like that. I think that's correct, and then he'll be getting Frog here once he gets through Dalton, who will probably be much easier for him than was for our other three runners, given difference in levels at this point. So we'll see how quickly he can run through that. We see Civil Shav going through Denadoro here, so he will have that bent hilt pretty soon, and probably, I'm guessing, be our first to-go mode, given that he's, well, depends how fast Ansky is versus him, but,
yeah, it's going to be a race. It's
Yeah.
going to be, or I mean, it's a race, but it's going to be very close who actually is technically in go mode first.
Yeah.
Ansky has already forged the sword as well. So
yeah,
got
he's just finished that
an
fight,
advantage.
so he's gonna have Frog in just a second here, and probably be diving into Magus's castle unless he decides he really wants to try something else to get a different go mode. But I think we know at this point that that's not readily happening, so I suspect he'll just head on into Magus's castle. Kuketsuki also heading for that Moonstone, not that he knows that yet. We'll see if he decides to keep it or reset out and head somewhere else.
So I take it back. You know, in Ansky's position, having picked up Ayla, I feel like this team needs to change.
Yeah, he probably will want either Ayla or Frog if he's hitting elevators. I mean, I forget, are elevators? This route.
Yeah, we'll go through the Ocean Palace and hit the Scouter fight. But I don't know. It's tough. I like Ayla and Frog together because of Dropkick. That's pretty much the only reason. But you also have the Hero Medal. You don't have the Grand Leon, which sort of sucks. But I do Ayla Frog someone, I think, if I were running those. And I check Dactyl, which is not a guarantee.
Yes, of course. Yep.
So Dipwood in chat is saying that even though Supervolt combines Shock and Luminaire, which is an increase from Vanilla, where it's just Lightning 2 and Shock, that it still only does like Flare or Dark Matter damage. So, yeah.
Though admittedly right now you would not have Flare or Dark Matter since nobody's picked up either of those characters, but we'll have to see.
You know, I mean, they all have access to Luca in the... I don't know, you can't really complain about team. Like, you've got Luca in the burrow if you want her. You've got Ayla in Dactyl Nest. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, some decent options. I think they're probably just not going to see Magus, which probably isn't a huge deal. I think most runners see Magus as useful early and a little bit less useful once you're going a little bit further. I feel like the most recent example I've seen where that wasn't true was actually Kuketsuki using the Blackrock strategy to get through a race recently, but don't see very many Maguses in Endgame, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Magus maybe more than most people. I think that, like, if you have Magus, like Magus, Luca, Ayla is pretty solid because you still get the really high-powered single target damage with Blaze Kick, but your fast because you have Magus and Ayla. You can afford to dump your speed tabs into Luca. In Dark Matter, you know, it's like 15-20% worse than a Flare, but that's not bad. So I mean, I like Magus quite a bit, and I love anti-life strategies on various bosses.
Yeah, I know that's true. Anti-life, which is a Jets of Time edition, as I understand it, does have a lot of interesting applications.
Yeah, I like to say that it gives Magus a dual tech. Anti-life plus revive is a reasonable dual tech.
Sure. Yes,
not the best, but it's pretty good.
Yes. Q was pointing out I had it backwards. He was beaten by BlackRock strategies, but regardless. And yeah, Ansky is diving right into Magus' Palace, as we were sort of expecting here, I think. So he definitely has a substantial lead right now on the other runners, who are varying amounts of Frog and Blade. I guess Civil Chev is on his way to getting that hilt, as is Kuketsky. Kalars is down in Reptite Lair, I guess, which I have forgotten entirely what that was.
I think that was our first sword part.
Ah, yes, that was the blade, because Kalars is missing both parts of the blade right now. I really like the Donadoro music for some reason, so jamming out here.
Yeah, so in chat there's a discussion about when to dump your tabs, and it is hard, and I'm glad that that's become a decision along with the tab buffs. For me personally, I don't know, if I get, yeah, it's hard. I like to use them early, because if you, well, okay, I like to use them on Luca early. Because that's the only thing that she's missing, is being fast.
Yeah, I see a lot of people use speed tabs on Luca early. I feel like it's other kinds of tabs I don't see used as much. I mean, a lot of people don't really use magic tabs at all, and then the power tabs, you have a lot of good options, because you can put them on Robo if you've got a good weapon for him in the right techs. You can use it with Chrono and Confuse, you can use it with Ayla and Triple Kick, so you've got...
I don't think Robo is a good power tab target. I think that, you know, his damage is a little bit lackluster compared to like an Ayla or a Chrono with a reasonable weapon, or a Frog with all his gear.
Yeah, if you've got
unless you get the Crisis Arm, and when you get the Crisis Arm, it's sort of ludicrous damage anyway, so you don't feel too bad about not putting the power tabs. Now that said, the power tabs scale better with the Crisis Arm than they do for anything else, because it's just this raw multiplier.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Kuketsky about to get into that same Hecarim fight that Civil Chev is partway through.
So Ansky being very wise, going out, saving after exploring the castle, because if this boss is something gross, you don't want to have to do all of that again.
Yes, I feel like this is one of the slots that often ends up better, because Flea is such a pain in the vanilla slot. Sometimes it feels like this slot ends up being better once it's randomized, but it can still be a real annoying slot. Especially this MP Buster means that you pretty much are always going into the battle with somebody with 0 MP, and
yeah, you can avoid the MP Buster counterattack, but it's not worth it. If you kill Fake Flea with a counterattack, like a Frenzy Band or Rage Band, then it will not do the MP Buster on death, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, you'd have to get the counterattack. I'm sure you'd waste more time than you'd spend just throwing some ethers. Looks like we have Yakra 13 in that slot. It was interesting. I don't know that much about how Yakra 13 works, so...
Yakra 13's annoying because it does this chaos move at the start. It'll do that twice before proceeding with whatever else. And like you said, I haven't really seen any status protection yet, so that can actually hit and ruin your attack plans.
Yeah.
But it's just an annoyance. Like Yakra the 13th isn't killing anyone. So this is Magus' Castle. These two boss locations are tier 2, just like the King's Trial is tier 2. So you're seeing just a vanilla, normal scaled Yakra the 13th.
Though we can't have a little bit more HP since that's scaled separately. It's still in that 1 to 1.5 times the base HP, and this is Flea's spot, so I think it's 3,800, which might be a little bit less HP than Yakuza 13's normal spot, but as far as every other stat, this would be consistent if it's the same tier.
Yeah, if anything, I don't know. I mean, like, I made a spreadsheet of HP values, but I don't even have it up right now. But my gut says that the bosses in Magus's Castle are a little bit lower, a little bit low HP compared to the other tier 2 type bosses.
Yeah, I think one of them's 4,000, one of them's 3,800. I think that it's Flea that's the 3,800 base value, which is a lot less, or at least significantly less than some of the other higher level spots where you're seeing like 5,000s and 6,000s. And one 7,000, but we aren't there yet.
Yeah, so Ansky made quick work of Yakuza the 13th, and he went out to save again. See, that's why I like doing the slash side first, because you get that save point, so you just get to, you don't have to walk out your progress. You just go for it.
Yep, Sivilchev is putting together that sword, and as we'll see if he decides he wants Luca and heads that way, or if he's just going to dive right into Magus's Castle like Ansky did.
I mean, Ansky has a sizable lead at this point.
Yeah.
So the rest of this is going to be seeing if the other party choices, like, you know, Kalarse and Sivilchev have picked up Ayla, maybe some of them will pick up Luca, whether that's going to be able to make up all this time.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have Nispel. Is this Nispel 2, I think? I don't know. I think there's a graphical difference, but I can never remember. Nope, just normal Nispel.
Okay.
Yeah, so normal Nispel is the easier of the two, because a lightning attack will just completely shock him and leave him unable to do anything for, I don't know, a round or so of attacks.
Looks like Sivilchev may be heading in to get Luca, so we'll see if that pays off for him here.
Yeah, Ayla, Frog, Luca, not awful. I imagine he's going to give Chrono the boot. Although Chrono has the Kali blade, I don't know. I imagine that Sivilchev will give Chrono the boot. Although maybe I just overvalue having Frog in Magus's Castle.
It's true. I think that you are a runner who likes Frog a lot more than many runners.
I hate Frog, okay? Like, I think he's worthless. But in Magus's Castle, you know, I mean, when you manage to put a hit on with the Masamune on Magus, it's substantial. And then, you know, when you flip Magus from the barrier phase to the dark matter phase, you can get a second hit of the same kind, right?
Right.
So that magic defense down persists through the change up until he risks casting a spell. So you can usually just skip seeing a spell in the second phase as long as you hit a Masamune boosted giant nuke to push him over.
Yep. So yeah, looks like Sivilchev and Kuketsky are both getting Luca. Sivilchev is currently off getting her magic. I'm sure that these runners will be hoping for Flare. Right now, I'm not sure if they're keeping... I guess Marl's staying in Kuketsky's side, so trying to get some Antipode 3 there. I guess you might use Frog Flare if you're keeping Frog around. Hard to say exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you know, I forgot about it, but that Jerky pickup, the Jerky turn-in was a Tabin suit, so that maybe that's another strong reason to go back and pick up Luca, since she'll actually be fast this seed.
Okay, I'm going to jump around just a little bit because I did not know that there was a bathroom break in Ansky's feed here, so bear with me for just a second here. That's pretty close. Let's see. Okay, we're back to pretty close to sync there. Sorry about that.
Okay, and I am nearing the end of my available time. I have a a child to put to bed. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of Magus' Castle anyway, so it sort of works out. But I will be joining you all in the chat, so... And if anyone else in chat, you know, this is Mian's first time commentating, and he's doing a great job. And so if anyone wants to also get some of that first-time experience in, you know, go ahead. Join us.
Certainly. And thank you for joining me here and knowing things about the code that I don't. And yeah, see you in chat.
All right. See you.
Righty, so what are we seeing here now? I guess we have Kalars still working through Denadoro there. That will get him to effectively go mode, still need to forge the sword. But, yeah, we're seeing the usual skips over here on Amsky's side. You just have to stop moving, and they'll roll right past you. The next room like this is a little bit harder, because you have to dodge the balls, and then also the angry bird things. Looks like Ansky does not know the skips for those trapdoors, or he might be doing that intentionally, because there is some good treasure down here. Or some decent treasure, at least, down here. Once you fall down here, you can get them once, and there's a few fights, and then maybe if you're lucky, you know the skips so that you don't fall down the trapdoors again and can progress further through Magus' palace. Blackmail, not too bad. It's already got plenty of shields, but and this looks like it's going to be one of those fights up here. As I understand it, there's the two fights in here, and they are on opposite sides of this trapdoor bottom room, whatever, and then the other two corners, one of them is a save point, and one of them is teleport back up into the room to try again. So, Ansky will probably be trying one of the sides here to teleport back up, looks like. Sybil Shev now heading into Magus' palace. Getting started on that. Yuketsuki's going to be there shortly, so people in very similar spots. Like Ansky did miss that first skip. My understanding is that basically the way you do that is you face away from the outlaw there, and then you want the outlaw to clip into your second character, actually, and it'll go a little bit down, and then you're able to run past it. The ones on the right side of the screen, you don't have to do that with, you can just walk by them. There's a little bit of a window there. We'll see if Ansky gets some more of those skips, or not. For all we know, he's wanting to fight these to get some techs, or we'll see what items are dropping from these. Oh yeah, Kyuketsuki mentioning in chat that you only have to do that that turnaround clip skip with the third one, but you are able to sneak by the first one separately, much more like the ones on the right side of the screen. But yes, you can use it if you need to. So yeah, Ansky getting the skip there, and looks like he is trying to do that second player clip thing to get the skip on that. And right now we're musicless because Kyuketsuki is our music and is currently in the silent phase of Magus' castle. Sybil Shev is about to get into the boss phase. We'll see if he is also going to run out and make a save, or if he's going to do what Sudark was mentioning before and go to the slash side first without saving maybe, and then get a save point after that so you can run across. A lot of schools of thought there, I think. It feels to me like Kalars is taking a long time here with Hecarim, but it will be go mode. Oh, and there we go. Right as I say it, it's finished up. So. Yeah, Sybil Shev doing an interesting thing here. These fights can be skipped by running around them. But I know that some runners do use those as a little bit of grinding. Maybe there's a tech that that he's hoping to be able to pick up here. Someone in the chat might have a better idea. I haven't been keeping track of everyone's techs super well right now. Looks like Kuketsuki's also sort of heading into that boss phase, and Kolars has gotten the other piece of that sword. Ansky's still quite a ways ahead, getting trolled by Ozzy here. Well, Batsy, if you know that there's like a tech or something that he's missing, I think that wouldn't be a spoiler, but if it's something else, you can tell me later. Yeah, Zelfer pointing out, if she doesn't have Fire 2 or Flare, you might be grinding to get those because you'll want them, especially up here. Everyone's going through Magus' Palace, who's a barrier change boss, so it's nice if you can have multiple elements you can do some decent damage with, just in order to hit his barrier and get through it a little bit faster. A lot of these parties, I think, will have some decent options for that, but if you want to have Flare, if you can, for sure. Here's Kuketsuki taking on really, really ugly Flea, as in Yakra 13. And Ansky is going into the Aussie battle here, so we might be able to see what is getting dropped from the cranks. My understanding is that those used to always be Lapises, but that's been changed to be something else, and sometimes it's even better. Race we were watching recently had speed taps dropping from those, and one player was also using Ayla to charm off of them, so this fight was 8 speed tabs, which is amazing to get at this point in the game, or any point in the game. Looks like these are dropping load helms, which are not quite as exciting. Kolars is also picking up Luca here, so we'll see how that goes, but it looks like we may have 3 Luca teams and 1 non-Luca team. So far, it's definitely paying off for Ansky because he's quite a ways ahead. I think his execution has been sort of overall better so far during the run as well, but we'll see where that goes. Kuketsuki has taken out Yakra the 13th, and Ansky has dropped Ozzy down a hole. So Kolars is currently running Frog, Robo, and Luca. I don't know if that's just a party of convenience. Well, maybe going to get Luca Magic. I guess we'll see if he sticks with that. Civilchev now back over on Flash's side, fighting Nizbol. Kuketsuki skipping those battles, as mentioned before, and Ansky is running away from Bats, and we'll soon be able to see who Magus is in this seed, since the way that the randomizer works is that basically a random party member is Magus. It changes what the final biggest spell that he casts is, and the name on the screen, I guess. Magus, or whoever it is HP is also randomized in this. I believe it's between 10 and 15,000 HP that we'll see in this spot. And yeah, Zelfer, you're right, these are all different teams, and it'll be interesting to see how that pays off for different people. You know, sometimes it feels like some characters are a little interchangeable and it's down to preference, but I think that you definitely have some different options here. Yeah. Alright, so Ansky is somewhat predictably using haste here to try to get some more turns for everyone here, as our Robo Magus is taking out some HP. Kolars is currently behind a ways here, picking up magic for Luca, and Civilchev and Kuketsuki are in the same place. Those 180 for Confuse on Robo there I feel like that might be a little bit lower than Ansky's hoping for here, but it is sort of a backup if you have a barrier in place that's not what you're looking for. So that might be what's going on there. Watch more closely. See, Kuketsky just picked up Antipode 3, which means that Luca has gotten Flare for him. Zivolchev might be getting exactly the same thing here, or maybe already did. Yeah. Yeah, so everyone in pretty similar places here, except for Ansky, who is still out in front here, taking down Robo. Pretty much everyone else is on Slash or Flee, or getting into that, or a little bit past that, so all fairly close together, but Ansky does have a pretty noticeable lead at this point. Zivolchev using a fun technique there, Beast Toss, throwing Yakra up in the air and dealing them some damage that way. Yeah, I have an FF6 lover at heart, so I always love when there's effectively a suplex in the game, right? Yeah, it's interesting with everyone sort of in the same place here. We can have a real strict ordering of who's where. Ansky's definitely ahead. Kuketsky is right behind that. Zivolchev is sort of into the boss phase, dealing with that, and Kolars is now just starting the Slash and Flee process here. Everyone seems to be doing relatively alright. It seems like mostly people are where they are from some efficiency earlier on, so we'll see how things can get shaken up as people progress, and at this point everyone's going to be going through the Ocean Palace, so some of this may come down to execution of that. Alright, and we have Ansky here as the first one who has taken down Robo-Magus and is going to head through this portal. That will give access to the Dark Ages, and as of recent versions, also do not need the Ruby Knife, and can get into the door in into the Man Machine in Zeal Palace in order to go into the Ocean Palace. So at this point, we will probably be seeing him go do some shopping. Access to Kajar, and in Kajar there's some shops run by News, and those often have some really good stuff, but importantly, one of them also is guaranteed, I believe, to have an amulet, and we have been having trouble seeing really any status protection and status healing in this seed, so I think it's pretty likely that we'll see our runners buying one, or possibly even more amulets here, to protect themselves before they run into Lavos, and dealing with obstacles and such things. Looks like Yuketsuki missed a skip there. Again, unless he's just checking for what these things are dropping. Sometimes that can be a really valuable thing if you find out the jugglers are dropping speed tabs or something. Sometimes you go through here and just take everything out because you want those speed tabs. So I do know some runners will try that out. And yeah, there was Ansky. I blinked and missed it, but looked like he was going through those new shops. Did anyone see if he grabbed any amulets there? Yeah, and there's Yuketsuki missed that second player clipping skip here for the Outlaw, but took it down real quickly, so no real concern there. Ansky is heading up these little portal skyway thingies, heading toward Zeal Palace to take on Lavos. So here's Civil Chev dealing with Ozzy's silly traps here. Yuketsuki fighting another Outlaw. Anyone see what those were dropping? I'm wondering if this is intentional. Well, nothing then anyway. Looks like Ansky is fighting defectively Vanilla Golem. Vanilla 1 appears here and you don't actually have to win, but in this you do, because we do that. We can see if Civil Chev knows the skips here, and it seems not. Civil Chev also grabbing these chests down here. Wasn't much of a lot of value, at least. Blackmail can be useful, but I think that it's usually more useful in Black Omen when you're fighting Queen Zeal than it is here, so not ideal. Alright, and Ansky is into the Ocean Palace here. Just working on hitting all the switches as you need to get through here. So yeah, right now it definitely looks like Ansky has a significant lead. A little bit ahead here, we'll have to deal with some elevators. A lot of the time, those are handled with either Frog using Frog Squash or Ayla using Dino Tail, and right now neither of those is in Ansky's party, so we may see him switch someone in for that, and also get to a grinding spot a little bit ahead here, and everyone else is still sort of fighting their way through Magus' palace. Civil Chev entering that holy room just as Yuketsuki's about to leave it. And Kalars is, you know, working his way up here. I have not been paying quite close enough attention, so I don't know if Kalars has gone and done both sides now, but it looks like he's running out to save, which is always a reasonable choice to make. Possibly also use a shelter, always good. Ansky taking a surprising number of fights here in Ocean Palace, maybe just missing some skips since it looks like he's running. And here's Kuketsuki dropping Ozzy down a hole here soon. Yeah, not too much to say right now. Looks like Ansky is into the usual grinding spot now. Run back up the stairs and back down to fight these repeatedly, get to a level that you want to. Different runners will go for different levels. I've seen some people who will risk going as low as, 27 or 28, and some people will get up to 30, 31, 33, 35 even, depending how confident they're feeling about that particular party. But interesting to see how long Ansky spends here getting levels. I haven't seen what his levels are right now, so if someone has seen that, let us know. We can see how far along we are. And Kuketsuki is through Ozzy, about to head down and maybe start fighting our Robomagus. He'll just be the second one through, so Ansky still has a very significant lead. It was interesting, I saw Kuketsuki, I think, put a flea vest on Luca. It's not something I see people normally using. I forget exactly what it even does, but interesting to see. Right, and the grinding fight there that Ansky's doing is dropping Hyper Ethers, which could actually be pretty useful here, depending what goes on. So, here we're starting the Robomagus fight with Kuketsuki, and Kalars working his way up the statue room. Along with Sivilchev, in fact. So those two are pretty close to the same. Or, no, those are two different. There are two rooms with that. Oh, so Zelfer says that Ansky has finished grinding at 26 and 27, which is pretty low, so that's definitely a risk that's being taken here. We'll see what goes on. That. Does look like Ansky, yeah, Ansky has put Ayla up in front here. You can use these fireballs to get Ayla's HP lower, which is valuable because she can use Dino Tail, which does more damage depending on how low her health is. Up ahead here on the elevator, there's going to be a few fights that have inconvenient magical resistances, and using a Dino Tail or a Frog Squash, which is basically the same idea, but on Frog, is a pretty common strategy for trying to get through those fights without having to juggle around different elements of magic. There's Kalars, who I think is our last person going through this trapdoor room. And I think the first one who has successfully done so without falling down any holes. So, congratulations on that, at least. Got that first skip that I didn't actually remember was possible, but then hit the second one here. And we have Civil Shove getting into the Robo-Magus fight. Puketsky making good use of Ice Sword 2, which is pretty nice. Tech in this seed with early Marl and fairly early Chrono. And Ansky is hitting the elevators now, so we will see. There's Puketsky finishing up that Robo-Magus fight, which looks like it went pretty smoothly for him. Seems like so far switching Luca in has paid off for him. Kalar's still a little bit further behind here, working through the winch room, and Sivachev working on Robo here. Alright, so Ansky using Dragon Tail, or Dino Tail exactly as expected here. Looks like it is not taking out everything, which is probably not what he was wanting to see here. Generally, you want Dino Tail to sort of wipe out the screen because you're running through with someone with such low HP. I see Ayla's HP is at 128, which is actually pretty high for this. So... here's Puketsky heading into the Kajar shop, probably about to buy some amulets, getting a free heal. Grabbing that speed tab, like you do. Puketsky throwing all of his tabs on Luca. Not really, not the power tabs, but... And this fight that's currently on Ansky's screen is kind of the notorious one. Each color of those scouters can only be hit with one specific type of magic. And, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and Ayla is down. I see Raster Cecil / Ansky in chat mentioning being betrayed by Ayla here, not getting those scouters down. Puketsky is, as expected, selling a bunch of stuff, probably getting enough money to buy an amulet or several. They're $50,000 at 50,000 gold apiece. Yep, there's buying one of those. We'll see if he tries to go for any others or if he's gonna go through with one. Looks like he's gonna go through with one. Sivilchev still working down Robo here. Looks like he's playing it pretty safe in terms of making sure everyone's got good HP, which makes sense here. Some of those things can hit for pretty hard, though it might be possible to go a little bit faster. Ansky's still working on that elevator. Got through that 6 scouter fight, which I'm sure he is very pleased to see. Ayla's got Tailspin now, which can be pretty useful in some situations. We'll see, though. I don't know if he's going to be keeping Ayla in his party here now that the elevators are done. Now, it looks like he's bringing Robo back in, which is maybe expected. That's sort of the party he's been running with so far. And he does get that scouter skip in those side rooms, which can be a little bit tricky as well. So... Kuketsuki is going... Oh, I'm not sure what Kuketsuki's doing. Heading back down to the surface, maybe checking out another shop or something. I'm not... I usually don't see people head down here. I think there are a few other shops that you can access through here, so he might be looking for some specific items that he's missing or some sort of better equipment, though I think equipment has mostly been pretty good this run. Civil Chev tossing Robo in the air and has gotten through that fight, so that's our third person through Magus' castle. Kuketsuki actually hitting a cutscene here with Janice, looked like. Oh, and is going to the secret room here. So in here you can fight this new, and you get some tabs, I believe. Yep, and here's, as Amsky is saying in chat, this is where the seed gets fun, because we have rolled E for the double boss spot here. I think a lot of people would consider this sort of a worst-case scenario outside of obsolete things or bugs, and Flea can do a lot of damage here with the stare, with a lot of other techniques, various ways of inflicting status effects, and this is actually technically a single boss spot in terms of the randomization, and it's the one with the most HP. So this slot, the base HP is 7,000, I believe. And definitely not anyone's favorite thing to see here. So we'll see how that goes. Everyone, Civil Chev is also going for that that new fight. And Kolars is heading into the Robo-Magus fight here. Civil Chev making quick work of those news, like I imagined Kuketsuki did, because I pretty much blinked and missed him taking out the news. Speed tab and a power tab there. Speed tabs are pretty nice, so, oh, a magic and a speed tab from that, so that's actually giving you more tabs than usual. So that seems like it may actually be a pretty good strategy in this seed if those news are dropping additional tabs. You're getting actually 4 tabs from that fight as opposed to the 2 that you always get, so I might be happy to see that happening. Ansky still fighting through Flea here, getting hit with Chaos. Yeah, Pseudo-Arc and Lord Batsy mentioning here that this is often a place where people are using shields because the stare is something that can do a lot of damage, and the shield will guard against that. But of course, the game will troll us every time and make sure that you don't get what you need from it. It does look like Ansky is... Nope, Ansky has still got 2 of them. I thought for a second one of them was frozen in place. But, yeah, we're definitely seeing the effect of not having very much status protection or status healing in this seed. Dealing with Flea is just proving very challenging, and I'm sure everyone else will have lots of fun dealing with that. So yes, here's Kuketsuki has started his way into the Ocean Palace here, taking out Golem quite quickly, actually. Oh, interesting. Ansky pointing something out in chat, which is that Flea has Ice Resist. which I guess would be unfortunate with this party with Marl in it. It's not something that I knew. Oh, interesting. Here's Fugetsky working his way through, getting the chests and hitting the appropriate switches here in the Ocean Palace. Looks like Civil Chev is sort of finishing up shopping and so on, and heading up to fight Golem. Klarss is kind of a bit behind at this point, seems like. Working through Robo. Seems to be doing some decent damage, so hopefully that will go pretty well. Be done with that quickly. Buketsky is here to this grinding spot, so we will see how much time he spends here grinding. He does have Flare, which is great for this spot, pretty much going to clear the screen. Civil Chev apparently is going to be using Frog, seeing some speed tabs get put on him. So, that's definitely interesting. We're continuing our situation here with really different parties actually going through here. So yeah, here's Civil Chev about to hit Golem. Looks like Robo-Magus is a little low on HP at this point, because that is when the Magus risks casting a spell. Yep, there we go. Lars has gotten through Magus's palace, and will now be heading into the Dark Ages, start doing the same stuff everyone else has been doing, going through and shopping, and then heading into the Ocean Palace. Not sure if anyone here has seen what level Buketsky is at here. Still grinding for now. Klarss bringing Luca back in. Makes some sense. Went to the trouble of picking her up. Pulling that gear off of Ayla, presumably to give to someone. It does look like Ansky has taken down one of the two fleas. In the slot, the first one just sort of pauses. Yeah, so Ansky has made it through double flea with just Chrono alive. Never a fun battle there. But it is now done, and Ansky can be moving on here to the next fights. Robo getting Uzi Punch last, looks like, which is a little bit unfortunate. That's often what you're looking for. We've had some discussion in the Discord lately that Robo Tackle is actually better if you're using a Crisis Arm, or if you get to levels that you usually don't see in these runs. I don't think that we've seen a Crisis Arm, so probably Ansky would really like to get Uzi Punch if he's going to be running through this with Robo. But at this point, he's going into some of the final battles, so it seems pretty unlikely that that's going to be super available. I don't know if anyone saw how many TP were needed for it, but Klarss doing the routine here, selling a bunch of stuff to get an amulet, possibly more. Looks like he may be aiming to hit 100,000 gold, which would allow him to buy 2 amulets. Especially since we know that Flea's coming up, having a little bit more status protect could be more useful than our runners would know at the point in time where they're buying this amulet. Looks like Civil Chef has also now hit the grinding spot, and Kuketsuki has everyone at level 32 right now. Oof. Wow. So yeah, Ansky has wiped to Lavos 1. Obstacle of Stop there. That's pretty rough. So this is interesting to me. I don't think I've ever seen this this particular cutscene play. I don't know if Ansky's going to let it play and then go back through the bucket, or what exactly. Kuketsuki has headed forward from his grind, so I guess 32 I think is where he landed. So that would be about 5 levels ahead of Ansky going out of there. So that may end up helping him, but he is behind. Of course, Ansky also wiped to that, so he'll be having to head back into Lavos. Zelfer saying in chat, you should use the Epic to go to 1999 and go directly to Lavos 2, which makes sense. In vanilla, that's often what you do, is crash it to... Oh, Sudark says no gauntlet. So, normally in vanilla, if you use the bucket, you have to fight the, as Batsy calls it, the greatest hit boss gauntlet. I guess that's not needed. So, yeah, here's Kalars going after Golem, and Kuketsuki is on the elevator, running through it without either of the characters we often see on there. Usually you're seeing Frog or Ayla doing Dino Tail, but at least this fight you can get through most of it with a flare and then smack that once and once or twice, and hopefully it will be gone. So yeah, Ansky has definitely lost a lot of time from this, but we'll get to skip the first phase of Lavos by crashing the Epic into him and go directly to Lavos 2. So that will get him further than where he was, but definitely some time lost. It's interesting what Dipwood's saying here. Losing on purpose can be legit to get some amulets if you have no money going in. It does make some sense. Yeah, Kuketsuki looks like he's having a much nicer elevator than Ansky was. He's got the damage to get through things. What will be interesting, of course, is this third fight here. Chev looks like he's levels 30 and 31 right now. Might still be grinding a little bit more before heading on. Kalars is into the switch pressing gauntlet. Ansky has crashed the Epic in order to head right in, and as pointed out in chat, there is no save point inside here when you do it that way. So he's presumably saved before. I didn't actually see for sure, but that would be my guess, anyway. Kuketsuki is sort of just doing single target magic to take out these scouters on the elevator, which is slow, but does seem to be working at least reasonably well for him, so... I haven't seen many people using those hyper ethers coming from the grinding fight, seeing a lot of use of just regular old ethers, but maybe saving them for later on. That makes sense. No save point because you've crashed your cool airship. Ansky at this point is hoping to take out those arms. They do these boomerang attacks that can be real unpleasant. There's one going out there and taking out Chrono as we speak, and another on Marl, so that is not a good time here. See, I'm curious why he's using Shock here, maybe trying to get rid of the arms before raising anyone. So he did get rid of one of the arms, at least. But, this seems pretty risky to me, I must say. Alright, so Sibilchev has carried on here past that grind fight. I didn't see if, hit level 32 there or anything. But that's a pretty reasonable spot to stop, I think. Did see 31 there a bit ago. So yeah, Kuketsky and Sibilchev round to about the same point. Kalars, I guess, is now also to the grind spot here. I think I just saw 30 there on Chrono, so he's probably going to get at least another little bit. Luca is behind just at level 27. Ansky took out the other arm with just Robo here. Unfortunately, Obstacle is getting cast, and we do know that that is stopped, so yeah, Ansky is not in good shape here. Looks like he is stopped with the other two party members dead, so now we're waiting this out, and oof. Sibilchev actually heading back up. Oh, I see. Getting some damage on either Ayla or Frog. I didn't see who was in front. I guess probably prepping for the elevator there. Ansky has done a reset. Heading back in again for the crash the epic and then go directly to Lavos 2 strategy here. Kuketsky has made his way in here to double free, so that will be fun, I'm sure. Doing some pretty good damage. 1500 is nothing to scoff at. Delta Force does require using all three characters, but nonetheless, that's some pretty good damage, and it is to both. So we can hope that that will play out well for Kuketsky here and take those down quickly. Sibilchev is now on an elevator here, using Dino Tail. Ayla is very low on his side there, 49 HP, so he may be getting some better damage here, especially with higher levels and lower HP. Yeah, looks like he is clearing the screen the way that Ansky was not able to. Of course, Ansky came here a lot earlier, so I suppose it worked out for both of them in a way. Ansky, flying out of shell with the time machine once again. Kalar's taking this fight here, which I feel like I usually see people just running from, unless I'm mistaken about when that happens, but still some experience, which can't hurt. Looks like Sibilchev has made it through a chunk of the elevator. Still got a couple of fights to go here. Kuketsky working on Flea. Yeah, Dipwood said a little bit back, put Annual on all 3 members for the Lavos 2 fight. I can see why you'd want to do that with that stop. That's just super rough, and I guess Marl probably has Cure 2, so you have that for status heal, but heal item is, I don't think anyone's seen, and Ayla would have Kiss if you have her in your party, but definitely a seed that's showing us the importance of status protection. Here's Kalars getting Ayla's HP down, preparation for the elevator. I didn't see what level he got up to there, but probably something like 32 or 33, again, like Kuketsky and Sivilchev, judging by where he was before. I do think that Kuketsky has taken down one of the 2 fleas. And Marl is already down on Ansky's screen. We'll see if he's going to try for taking out those arms and then raising, or what exactly. Using that Super Volt does look like he's trying to get rid of those arms as quickly as possible. Looks like Chrono is actually down on Kuketsky's screen. I missed it, but I'm guessing that was a stare. If anything, but we do have Marl raising him, and that's probably life 2, so he will come back with a lot of HP, which is good since our other compatriots here are about to fall down. Kalars using Dino Tail, a place I don't usually see fighting this Jin and Barguest. A lot of time I don't see people take this fight, but it's a little bit of extra XP, so it seems to make sense. And Sivilchev has hit dual feed here, so that's going on 2 screens at once here, but Kuketsky has also just finished. Kalars saying in chat that he wanted the tech points for Uzi Punch, which as we know is that last tech that Robo is getting. That is a risk here for our 2 runners here who are running with Robo, just trying to get that last tech. Alright, so Kuketsky is about to head on and start heading toward fighting Lavos. After a quick shelter and save. And Kalars is here on the elevator. We already know he's going to be using Dino Tail to take everything out as quickly as possible. Looks like Ansky is doing a little bit better this time. Both of the arms are gone, and everybody is at least alive. Now just trying to take out that center piece. Using that Ice Sword 2, we've mentioned already, that's pretty valuable this seed, just with Robo so early, or with Chrono so early and Marl so early. Alright, and Kalars is on the most annoying of these fights, but so far it looks like he has not been having trouble with Dino Tail. I think it looks to me like Ansky just wasn't getting damage from it because of the lower level. Because Kalars is running about the same HP here, actually. But that's the risk, I suppose. Sivilchev is using a beloved strategy here with Luca and Ayla, using Blaze Kick. One of the real powerful things that we can throw at stuff at this stage in the game. Looks like he's using Frog for healing, which is one of the things that he's pretty good at doing here, so it makes sense to have him in the party for that. Yuketsuki has made it through Lavos Part 2. And Lavos 3 is spawning. Presumably he will try for the menu glitch here to get a menu in between those stages. Kalar's is off pressing buttons, like you do. And it looks like Civilchev has gotten his way through Double Flea. And like our other runners, we'll be heading forward into Lavos. So we're going to have several runners at once all fighting Lavos, which is always great. Kalar's just about to get the bad news. Ansky definitely using that menu glitch, and is using Lifeline, which is an interesting choice here. That gives everyone what a lot of other games would call relays. Each party member can die once and then come back. Alright, it looks like Yuketsuki is through Lavos 1. He's getting the save point since he didn't crash a plane into him. I always love this section here in the middle of Lavos where the like heartbeat is speeding up. Like it's a really well done effect for like this era. I missed what happened there. It looks like Ansky's chrono has gotten chaosed and then was smacking the right bit there, which is usually not what you want to be doing. Now using Super Bolt here, which I guess... I forget exactly what the immunities here are. That might be center bit. I'm trying to take down center bit. Yeah, because the left bit will absorb that. But if you're taking out bits, then eventually the right bit will drop its defense, which is basically what you're going for in order to try to get through. Yuketsuki is in a familiar spot here, one party member down with one arm down. Yeah, Kalar's pointing out that drop kick doing a lot of damage there with, I believe that's Frog and Ayla, not a party composition. I see that often, but it definitely seems to be working well here for Civilchev. Kalar's having the same basic flea battle we've seen several times here, people going down and just trying to get enough damage through. Looks like he has now finished it out, though. That might have been a faster flea fight than some of the other runners. Probably good for him catching up a little bit here, as everyone else is still a bit ahead of him, but he is now about to head toward Lavos as well. Very close here with two runners on Lavos 2 and one on 3, and then one about to hit 1. Ansky has now had 2 party members down, which is not ideal, but, we'll see what goes on here. Civilchev making good use of that healing there. These boomerangs are not taking out his party members, which is going to help him a lot here, I think. Ansky resetting again, unfortunately, so he's going to need to go crash again and go through Lavos 2 and 3 again. As Alfred pointing out, Dreamless is not the attack you want to see, that's definitely true. And yeah, definitely an unusual party trying to use those lifeline strats. Unfortunate that it didn't play out well here for Ansky, but it is very interesting to see these things. I don't normally get to see the... Yep, exactly. Great demonstration of how not to use them. But I'm excited to get to see parts of the game that I normally don't get to, like crashing the epic. So it's fun to see these little corners, and appreciate that. Yeah, here's Kuketsky getting into Lavos Stage 3, which at this point puts Kuketsky definitely squarely ahead. Though Civil Chev is also not too far behind, has both arms down on Lavos 2, and probably will take that down pretty soon. Kalars is back here working on Lavos 1. Kalars saying in chat he's so glad he bought an amulet. I can see that. Looks like right now he doesn't have any status healing in the party he has, so he could still have some issues with Obstacle, but having one amulet does at least mean that will help. Alright, so here's Ansky starting Lavos 2, and Civil Chev starting Lavos 3. Alright, Kalars is through Lavos 1. Basically gonna be in the same spot as Ansky here pretty soon. Right now, it looks like it's basically a fight here between Civil Chev and Kuketsky, who's gonna successfully get through that 20,000 HP that the right bit of Lavos 3 has. Yep, here is Kalars starting Lavos 2. Looks like on Kuketsky's screen, Marl is down, and on Chivelchev's, Ayla is down, so having some things getting taken out by, possibly by the counterattacks these will do, but most of them do have the left bit down, so they should have a lower defense on the right bit, and can be doing similar damage to it. Folks discussing Genodome here in the stream chat. You've missed your opportunity a little bit, because first week it was, I believe that was a go mode, one of the faster go modes. First week of the Async was to go through Genodome, but maybe we'll get another one. Who knows? Kuketsky not doing great here right now, has 2 characters down, but Life 2, I'm assuming is what that is, should bring Chrono back with a decent amount of health. Hopefully we'll keep him going here for a bit. Both Civil Chev and Kuketsky are seeing revivals. It's kind of the standard thing here. They'll now have to go back to whittling down the left and center bits. Yeah, here's Kalars seeing an obstacle, which probably be unfortunate here, but at least he does have Chrono without stop. Not much fun, but there's that. Civil Shove and Kuketsuki still fighting through these deaths here. Yeah, some discussion here of the amulets and Cure 2. It does seem like some of the best strategies are people who are getting Cure 2 and sticking amulets on Marl just to keep her from getting stopped. Oh, and Kuketsuki is probably not happy to see this big rock getting dropped on himself right now. Chrono is not dead though, so may not be done yet. Yeah, Kolars and Ansky in pretty similar positions right now in terms of their fights, and Kuketsuki and Civil Shove in pretty similar positions. Interesting to see Civil Shove taking out the center bit there. I thought the last time he did left bit, but maybe decided that this was better for particular MP at that point in time. He is seeing those counterattacks from the left and right bits without the center bit, which can be pretty devastating at times. Yeah, that is an interesting thing. People getting poisoned, getting rid of stop. In a way, that's a perfect strategy. Get yourself a better better status effect that lets you keep going. Yeah, Kuketsuki still fight and keep everybody up. Civil Shove seems to be trying to do more damage and letting Ayla, you know, stay dead here. Gonna keep getting those counterattacks, but Luca does seem to have a decent amount of HP, and it's dealing little enough to work. Kolars now going into Lavos stage 3 here. And Ansky as well will be. So we will, I think, briefly here possibly have everybody in Lavos stage 3 at the same time. So that's pretty exciting. I do remember there was some chat this week about the menu glitch here with Lavos 3. It fades to white, and then it's a little bit after that, actually, that you hit the button and hopefully get the menu glitch. Ansky seems to be pretty reliable about it here. I think Kolars did not get it, which is not super unfortunate, because you can get that Mega Elixir, as he's mentioning in chat. But it does use up a turn, and it's nice to not have to. So, that's fun, and Civil Shove has finished, and I completely missed it. So, well done there, Civil Shove, on completing that. Let me put your time in. Alright, so yep, there's that one. And now we're waiting on our others here. I'm actually going to turn off Civil Shove's tracker, I think, because it's currently covering up the fact that he won. And nicely done here. I guess now it's on to see who's going to get through this next. Looks like both Ansky and Kolars are using left bit strategies here. Kuketsuki, I think, has mostly been using left bit as well. So for saying all 4 of these lava fights have me nervous for the runners, yeah, it's a little challenging to watch these sometimes. Alrighty, and Civil Shove is now running around having finished. So we'll see what he does. But, yeah, I feel like not too much to comment on here. I'm not really sure what Sivilchev is doing here exactly. It looks like he's going to the hunting range, maybe trying to find the new. Take it out, you know. Fun thing to do after you've finished with your seed for the time being. Everybody else pretty much just fighting their way through. Looks like everybody's pretty much using left bit strategies here. Are we getting the mob? Batsy asks. I take it that comes from the hunting range here, or... Okay, so the new gives it to you. Yeah, fair enough, you know. Why not? Ansky taking out the center bit there, but, yeah, at this point, it's sort of a little bit of a grind race here to see who can take this out first. Robo-Tackle, I think that was, doing some decent damage, at least. It's possibly a little less than Ansky would want from that. Sivilchev has found the new. And Kalars has now finished here, having taken that out. It's 2:18:50 looks to be his time. Hide his strategy. I think I've possibly not completely understood how this 4-player layout is supposed to work, because I think the videos are supposed to be further back, but it's fine. We'll figure it out eventually. Right. Moving on here, let's see, Kuketsky and Ansky still working on their process here. Sivilchev appears to be dancing in the street. Entirely sensible choice at this point, I think. Half after all won. Oof, Ansky taking a lot of damage here from the slaps, as he's called them. And Kuketsky has finished here. If I can find his video, I'll give him out his time. 2:20:45 for him. And my apologies to Ansky, this was a little bit of a rough video to put him in, but nonetheless, we have all learned some things about parties, I think. And yeah, it makes sense what you're saying there, Amsky. Just you'd had so many times in here, you went real safe with the last one, so it's taking you longer than usual. Not surprising. I think that's what all of us do when we run out. What did I do? Okay, well, looks like I have lost our audio here, so give me just a second. I'll bring this back. So thank you everyone for watching. Looks like I got the audio switched back just as Ansky finished. 222.50. So yeah, nicely done for all of our runners. Thanks for sticking with me here as I learned how to do some commentating, and still learning some things about the overlay, looks like. But yeah, and as Dipwood says, the next week of the Async is already up, and I saw that he was doing that earlier, so you know, get to it, and hopefully we will do the same basic thing as this next week. We've been trying to do these on Sundays. If it's not a disaster if they don't end up there, but we'd love to do that. And on the off chance there's anyone watching who doesn't already know what Jets is, please feel free to go join our Discord and learn how to play this. It's a good time. So I think with that, I will probably sign off. But thanks everyone for joining me, and we will see you all next week, or in Discord, or wherever we see you.